Hi, I'm Michael. I'm 79 years old, and I need to tell you something that's been weighing on me heavily for the past few months. It starts with the nights. I keep having this, well, it's not really a dream. It's more like a thought that jolts me awake at 3 a.m. The house is dead silent, the alarm clock is glowing red, and I'm lying there in the dark trying to calculate something. I'm adding up years. I'm doing the kind of math that doesn't make any sense in the daylight, but feels absolutely urgent at 3 in the morning. I'm trying to figure out how many Thanksgivings I have left. I lie there and I count. If I'm lucky, maybe 10? Maybe 15 if I'm really lucky, if I beat the odds. But let's be honest, probably not 15. Probably closer to 8. Maybe 9. My grandson is 7 years old. I lie there and wonder. I might see him turn 17. That seems possible. Maybe 20 if the universe is generous. But probably not 25. I probably won't see him get married. I probably won't see his first child. That's the kind of math you do when you're 79, and nobody prepares you for it. There's no pamphlet at the retirement home that explains the midnight math. So, I want to share 10 harsh realities about being 79 years old. Not to depress you, though I'm not going to lie to you. Some of this is heavy. But I'm sharing this because if you're getting older yourself, or if you love someone who is, these are the things I wish someone had told me straight. No softening. No golden years marketing nonsense. Just the truth. So let's start with the big one. Reality number 1. The math is brutal, and you can't stop doing it. I told you about the Thanksgiving calculation, but the problem is, once you start doing that math, you can't turn it off. It becomes the filter through which you see everything. Last month, my daughter called me. She was so excited. She told me she's pregnant with her 3rd child, my 5th grandchild. It's wonderful news, it really is. But do you know what my very first thought was? I hate that this was my first thought. I feel guilty about it, but it was, will I make it to this kid's high school graduation? I did the math immediately. If everything goes perfectly, I'll be 97 when that kid throws their cap in the air. My own father died at 81. His father died at 76. The genetic blueprint isn't exactly in my favor. I looked up the statistics. I shouldn't have. Never Google the actuarial tables. It's a bad idea, but I did. According to the Social Security Administration, a 79-year-old man has about a 50% chance of making it to 87. 50%. A coin flip. Heads, I'm here. Tails, I'm a memory. So I do this calculation constantly now. It's exhausting. My best friend from college, a guy I've known since 1965, is getting remarried next year in Santa Fe. Will that be the last time I see him? My brother wants to plan a big trip to Ireland in 2 years for his 75th birthday. Can I commit to that? Should I book a trip 6 months out? Or is that being arrogant? I bought a 3-year subscription to a magazine last year, National Geographic, and my wife laughed. Not meanly, she just chuckled and said, "That's ambitious, Michael." She was joking, but she wasn't wrong. Everything now comes with this invisible asterisk, if I'm still here. And I know what you're thinking. Michael, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. We're all uncertain. Yeah, I've heard that philosophy. But there's a difference between philosophical uncertainty and mathematical probability. When you're 79, the math stops being abstract. 2. Your body becomes a full-time monitoring system. This is the second reality. You can't just live in your body anymore. You are constantly managing it. 3 months ago, I went for my annual physical. Standard stuff, blood work, EKG, the prostate check. 2 days later, It's always 2 days later. That's how long it takes for the panic to set in. I get a message on my chart. That's the patient portal. Terrible system for old people, by the way, because you see words like abnormal and elevated in bright red text, and you have zero context. My liver enzyme was elevated. Not dangerously high, the doctor said later, but something to watch. Something to watch. That is the phrase of your late 70s. For the 5 days until my follow-up appointment, I convinced myself I had liver cancer. I didn't tell my wife because I didn't want to worry her until I knew for sure. I barely slept. I kept Googling symptoms. Another terrible idea. I started wondering who would take my slot at our weekly poker game. I was planning my own exit. Turns out, it was nothing. A false alarm. Probably something I ate, or a mix of medications. The follow-up test was normal. But here's what nobody tells you. After you turn 75, every single doctor's visit carries that weight. Every test could be the one that changes the narrative from aging to dying. I have a friend, I had a friend, named Tom. We played tennis together twice a week for 12 years. Fit guy, stronger than me. Last April, he went in for a routine colonoscopy. They found something, stage 3. He died 7 months later. 7 months from, I feel fine, to a funeral. Now, every time I go to the doctor, I wonder if I'm Tom. Is this the appointment? Is this the blood test? I wake up every morning and I run a diagnostic. How's the hip? The left one has been stiff. How's the balance? I stand on one leg while brushing my teeth just to check. Any chest pain? Shortness of breath? Numbness in the fingers? My wife caught me doing this out loud last week. She said, "Michael, you sound like you're running a pre-flight check on a 747. And she's right. Except I'm checking to see if the plane is still cleared for takeoff or if it's time to ground it permanently. 3. Your independence is on a short lease. We grow up thinking independence is a right. At 79, you realize it's a privilege, and it can be revoked without warning. I'll tell you the exact moment this reality hit me. Last November, my neighbor Ed fell in his garage. Ed is 76, 3 years younger than me. He was getting a box of holiday decorations off a shelf, not even a high shelf, just a regular shelf, and he lost his balance. He broke his hip. Now, Ed was the guy who went to the gym. He did water aerobics. He ate clean. He was the healthy one. The surgery went fine, but something happened during recovery. He got an infection. Then he got weak from being in bed. Then he needed a walker. Then assisted living because his wife couldn't lift him. I saw him last month at the facility. He looked small. That's the only word for it. Small and defeated. He told me, "I thought I was going back home, Mike, but I don't think I am anymore." One fall. That's all it took to end his life as he knew it. So now? I don't use my stepladder anymore. I gave it to my son-in-law. I don't climb up to change light bulbs. I hire a handyman. I don't go outside to get the mail when it's icy. My buddies made fun of me last winter when I skipped our monthly breakfast because the parking lot was slick. They called me soft. I let them talk. I don't care. Because I watched Ed's entire world evaporate in one afternoon. I had to give up driving at night about a year ago. That was a hard one. The glare from the headlights, I just couldn't see the lanes. I was a truck driver for 30 years. I drove across this country hundreds of times. And now, I can't safely drive 10 miles to a restaurant after sunset. My daughter keeps suggesting we move closer to her family in Phoenix. Just in case, she says. In case of what? In case I fall? In case I can't drive at all? In case I become a burden? I'm not ready for that. But I look at Ed, and I know that ready has nothing to do with it. 4. Your memory becomes unreliable and terrifying. This is reality number 4, and it scares me more than the physical pain. 2 weeks ago, I was at the grocery store. I've been shopping at this same store for 9 years. I go every Tuesday morning. I know the layout better than I know my own backyard. But 2 weeks ago, I stood in the middle of the aisle, cart in hand, and I couldn't remember where the coffee was. I don't mean I forgot for a second. I mean I was genuinely, profoundly confused. The map in my head was just blank. I had to ask a kid stocking shelves. He looked at me with this mix of pity and patience, that old man look, and pointed. The coffee was exactly where it always is. 3rd aisle, left side. I've walked past it 1,000 times, but in that moment, my brain just didn't have access to the file. And here's the terror. How do you know when it's normal aging versus when it's dementia? My father had dementia. It started at 78. By 80, he didn't recognize me half the time. By 81, he was gone. I am 79. So every time I forget a name, and I forget names constantly now, there is a voice in my head screaming, "Is this it? Is this how it starts?" I've started writing everything down. I have a little pocket notebook I carry everywhere. I write down appointments, names of neighbors, things I want to tell my wife. I write it all down because I don't trust my own hard drive anymore. And the worst part? Sometimes I forget to check the notebook. So I'm writing things down and forgetting I wrote them down. My doctor says I'm fine, that I'm cognitively normal for my age. But I know what the slippery slope feels like, and I feel like I'm standing right at the edge of it. 5. You watch people disappear in slow motion. You expect people to die when you get old. You go to funerals, that's part of the deal. But nobody prepares you for the people who don't die, but just fade. I need to tell you about Margaret. Margaret and her husband Don were our best friends for 30 years. We raised our kids together. We traveled together. Every Friday night for 20 years, we played cards at each other's houses. Margaret started slipping about 6 years ago. Small stuff, losing her train of thought, asking the same question twice. By year 3, she didn't always recognize me. Some days she'd light up. "Michael, how are you?" Other days she'd look at me politely, like I was a friendly stranger at a bus stop. By year 5, she was in memory care. We visited every week. The last time I saw her, 3 months before she passed, she looked at me, touched my arm and said, "You have such kind eyes. Are you my brother?" I'm not her brother. We aren't related. But I said yes, because what else do you say? She died last January. But the truth? The Margaret I knew died 5 years ago. We spent 5 years mourning someone who was still breathing. And my social circle is shrinking in other ways too. The retirement community where I live, when we moved here in 2015, we had a tight group, 6 couples, people we did everything with. 4 of those couples are gone. 1 couple moved to be near kids. 3 of them dead. Both spouses gone. There are new people moving in, younger retirees in their late 60s. They're nice. They invite us to things. And I know I should make an effort. But here's the harsh reality. I am tired of making friends just to watch them die. It sounds terrible. I know it does. But it is emotionally exhausting to start a book when you know the last chapter is tragic and it's coming soon. So I let my world get smaller to protect myself. 6. Your marriage becomes the most precious and fragile thing you own. I've been married to Linda for 54 years. We got married when I was 25. She was 23. That is more than half a century of waking up next to the same person. And I think about losing her every single day. It's this constant background noise. One of us is going to be left alone. That is just the math. Statistically, it's probably going to be me dying first. But it might not be. And I don't know which scenario terrifies me more. If she goes first, I don't know how I would function. She handles the world, the social calendar, the grandkids' birthdays, the emotional heavy lifting. I would be lost, completely untethered. But if I go first, she'll be alone. After 54 years of us, she'll be just her. We've become the same person in a lot of ways. We finish sentences. We have the same rhythm. If she dies, I don't just lose my wife. I lose the witness to my life. She's the only person left who remembers me when I was young. When she goes, that version of me goes too.
Last year she had a health scare. Chest pains. We spent 4 hours in the ER. It turned out to be acid reflux, thank God. But for those 4 hours, sitting in that plastic chair under those humming fluorescent lights, I looked at her and thought, this might be it. This might be the end of the story. It makes every argument feel dangerous. We used to bicker and stay mad for a day. Now, if we snap at each other, I apologize immediately. Because I am terrified that the last thing I ever say to her will be something petty about the dishwasher. 7. You stop accumulating and start letting go, and it hurts. Reality number 7. You spend the first 70 years of your life building things up, getting the house, the tools, the collections, the stuff. You spend the last years trying to get rid of it. Last month, I went into my garage. I have a lifetime's worth of tools, beautiful woodworking tools. Some I inherited from my father. I haven't used them in 5 years. My hands aren't steady enough for the fine work anymore. So I decided to give them to my grandson. It made sense. He's getting into carpentry. But when I stood there, holding my father's hand plane, the smooth wood handle, the weight of the iron, I couldn't put it in the box. Because giving it away isn't just cleaning the garage. It's admitting that I am never going to use it again. It's admitting that the part of my life where I build things is over. I have a coin collection worth maybe $8,000. I've been working on it since I was 15. 64 years of collecting. My kids don't want it. They're polite, but they don't care about silver dollars. My grandkids definitely don't want it. So what do? Sell it to a stranger? I have boxes in the attic full of letters, photos, ticket stubs, proof that I lived, proof that these moments happened. If I throw them away, it feels like erasing myself. But if I keep them, I'm just leaving a burden for my kids to clean up when I'm dead. My friend's mother died at 94. She was a pack rat. It took them 6 months and 3 dumpsters to clear her house. I don't want to do that to my family. So I'm trying to downsize. But every item I put in the donation bag feels like a little death. 8. You plan your own ending. This is a strange one. You spend your 79th year doing administrative work for your own death. I have a folder in my desk. It's red. Inside is my advance directive, my living will. I updated it last year after watching what happened to my friend Pete. Pete had a massive stroke at 80. He survived, but he was trapped. Couldn't speak, couldn't move, fed through a tube. His family kept him alive for 8 months because Pete never wrote down what he wanted. It was agony to watch. So I sat down and I wrote it out. No feeding tubes, no ventilators if there's no hope. I had to sit my children down at Thanksgiving, great holiday conversation, right? And tell them, if I end up like Pete, you have to let me go. My daughter cried. My son got quiet and angry at the situation. But you have to have the talk. I picked out my cremation urn.
I wrote a draft of my own obituary because I don't trust anyone to get the facts right. Linda and I bought side-by-side plots at the cemetery 5 years ago. We drive past it sometimes and joke, "Hey, there's the condo." But it's a dark joke. Making these decisions doesn't give you peace of mind, like the lawyers say. It just makes the end feel very real and very close. 9. You become that old guy, invisibility. I look in the mirror and I still expect to see the guy I was at 40. Dark hair, strong shoulders. But I see this bald, hunched man with liver spots on his hands. And the world treats me like that man. I've become invisible. I notice it at stores. The cashier looks right through me. People walk around me like I'm a piece of furniture. Or worse, they treat me like a toddler. How are we doing today, sweetie? I'm 79. I fought in Vietnam. I ran a business for 30 years. And this 19-year-old is calling me sweetie. I catch myself repeating stories. I know I do it. I start telling a story about the war or about the blizzard of '78, and I see my kids' eyes glaze over. They've heard it. But they don't understand that these stories are all I have left. I don't have a YouTube channel of my 20s. I don't have an Instagram of my 30s. I only have these stories. If I stop telling them, the memories disappear. I'm slower. I drive the speed limit, maybe a little under. People honk. They fly past me, giving me the finger. I want to yell, "I'm doing the best I can!" But I don't. I just grip the wheel tighter. 10. You realize you worried about all the wrong things. This is the final reality, and it's the most painful one because you can't fix it. For 35 years, I worried about money. I lost sleep over promotions. I stressed about my reputation at work. I worried about having the right car, the right lawn, the right suit. I'm 79. None of that matters. The company I gave 30 years of my life to? It doesn't exist anymore. It got bought out and dissolved. The awards I won are in a box in the basement. I look back and I see clearly, with painful clarity, what I should have worried about. I should have worried about missing my kids' school plays to finish a report. I should have worried about not taking that vacation with Linda because we couldn't afford it at the time. I should have worried about drifting apart from friends who are now dead. I have this wisdom now. I finally understand the game. But I'm in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left on the clock. I can't go back and replay the first half. The conclusion. So, those are the realities, the math, the fear, the invisibility, the regrets. It sounds bleak, and I told you I wasn't going to sugarcoat it. It is bleak sometimes. But I want to leave you with one last thing. A bonus reality, I guess. Because of all this, because the time is short, because the math is brutal, the good moments, they are sweeter than you can possibly imagine. Last week, my granddaughter came over. She's 9. We sat on the back porch. It was hot. The cicadas were buzzing. We were eating chocolate ice cream. And for 20 minutes, we just sat there. She told me about some drama with her friend at school. She had chocolate melted on her chin. The sun was going down, and I felt this wave of gratitude that almost knocked me over. I wasn't worrying about my liver enzymes. I wasn't doing the math on how many years I have left. I was just there. When you're 79, you realize that life isn't about the big moments. It's not about the retirement party or the big trip to Europe. It's about the ice cream on the porch. It's about the coffee with your wife. It's about the fact that your knees didn't hurt too bad today, and the sun feels good on your face. The signal-to-noise ratio finally gets fixed. You stop hearing the noise of ambition and ego, and you finally hear the music. I just wish I had heard it sooner. So if you're younger than me, and you probably are, please, put down the phone. Stop worrying about the promotion. Go eat ice cream with your kid. Call your mom. Forgive your friend. Because the math comes for all of us eventually. And when you're lying in bed at 3 a.m. doing the calculations, you want to be able to say, I didn't waste it. My grandson tells me this is the part where I'm supposed to ask you to like and subscribe. And honestly, I would appreciate that. It lets me know I'm not just talking to myself in an empty room. And leave a comment. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. Tell me what you're struggling with. I read them all. I've got the time. Thanks for listening to an old man ramble. This is Michael. I'll see you in the next one, if I'm still here.